When we are talking about fasting, I want to tell you that the reason why most of us don't receive answer to our prayer during fasting is because we are fasting amiss. We are fasting the wrong way, with the wrong purpose. So, my dear sister, in this video, I'm going to analyze 5 good ways on how you should fast, the best way you should fast, in order for you to get the result that you are praying for, in order for you to receive what you are asking God for. So fasting is when you intentionally stay away from food for the purpose, for the sole reason of seeking God. So what I mean by that, many of us have been fasting the wrong way, is that before you even begin the fasting, what is the first thing that you should do before you even start the fasting? Because this is very important. You have to know what you are even about to do. You have to know why you are doing it. You just have to decide before you even get into it. But these are the steps that many people don't follow, and that's why their prayers are not heard. So what am I saying? In the book of Daniel chapter 10 verse 12, we saw that the angel of the Lord told Daniel that from the first day you set your heart to seek the Lord. That is the place I want you to underline. You can go and read at your spare time. Daniel 10 verse 12. From the first day you set your heart to seek the Lord. So what am I saying? The first step is for you to set your heart, deep down in your heart, desire, determine, set your heart to seek the Lord. Be hungry for God. It's not just about, oh, this person say, let me fast, let me go and fast. No, you have to know who you're fasting to. You have to decide in your heart, agree with yourself that you want to fast. This is very important, because in the case of Daniel, the angel of the Lord is telling Daniel that even from that first day that you decide to set your heart to seek the Lord, that your prayers were heard. So if you decide in your heart, if you determine to set your heart to seek God, that is a catalyst. That is one of the ways that will bring the answers to your prayer. Am I communicating? Again, you must know the reason you are fasting. This is where a lot of people fail. What is the reason that you are fasting? Is it because of your marriage issues? Is it because you and your husband are separated? Is it because you want your business to grow? What is your major reason that you are fasting? So from the passage, Daniel 10 verse 12, that we were talking about, let me just read that place. Then said he unto me, fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that thou didst set your heart to understand and to chasten thyself before thy God, thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. Thy words were heard. Your prayers were heard. So, what is your reason for fasting? In the case of Daniel, we discovered that Daniel set his heart to understand God. He set his heart to know more about God. So what is your own reason of fasting? Are you just fasting because others are fasting? Are you just fasting because your pastor said you should fast? Are you just fasting because I said you should fast? You should know the reason you are fasting. The next one is that you must prepare for your fasting. You have to prepare for your fasting ahead. I am talking this one out of my experience. I have tried some fast and I failed. I just booked a fasting. I said, oh, I'm going to do fasting maybe in the next 2 weeks. And because I didn't prepare for it, my dear sister, I'm telling you, especially Daniel fast, I have failed to do Daniel fast sometimes. That is the honest truth. But what I learned from it is that I did not prepare ahead. I did not make proper preparation for my fast. Like in the case of Daniel fast, you know that I need to eat some certain food and I need to stay away from some certain food. So if you don't make proper preparation, if you know that your work is the kind of work that takes your time, do not just deceive yourself and say, oh, I want to fast, and yet you did not make time for prayer. And just staying hungry voluntarily, that is not fasting. So you have to fast in a way that you will have time to pray. You will have time to focus on God. Hope I'm communicating. So make proper preparation for your fasting. If it is on weekend that you don't work, then you can decide to fast during that time, or you can decide to fast during your break time, during your leave, your annual leave. These are the periods. So you have to schedule your fasting and make sure that it's aligned to the purpose, and that it is going to give you the maximum time, the maximum opportunity for you to reach God. So if you do not prepare ahead of your fasting, when once you are into that fasting, you will see that you will not feel the full energy. Probably there are some things that are missing, like loss of concentration, like in my case, because I was still working at that moment and I was not able to concentrate because I didn't plan my schedule. I didn't determine things that I must do during this period and the things that I shouldn't do, and this caused a lot of distractions which I was not happy about. So you have to determine to put this everything in order, so that once you set your heart, once you start this fasting, you will give your optimum concentration on the fasting, and you will do it the right way, the best way, and you will definitely get the results from God. This particular point is a point that many underrate, and that is focus entirely on God throughout the fast. Entirely. I know that many people may fast during working hour, chatting with friends, socializing, and have results. But I tell you that you stand a better chance when you are fully engaged in the fasting than when you are engaging in your work and socializing. Do you know why? The primary problem of that kind of fast is distraction. The time that you should have used to pray, you may be distracted by a friend or by your relative, by the working environment and all those things. So you will see that you will have less time to pray and you will not concentrate on God. Hope you understand what I'm saying. So you have to use the time that you would have been using chatting, eating, in socializing. You have to channel all those time on God. Focus entirely on God. This is the right way, the best way for you to fast. And I want to point out something to you. When we are talking about focusing on God, you also need to understand that that problem that you are fasting shouldn't be the point of focus. But the point of focus is God that you are seeking, not the problem. So not when you are fasting for your marriage reconciliation, as we are talking about today, you just focus on marriage. God, please, my marriage must be restored. My marriage must be restored. My marriage must be restored. And my marriage must be, I want reconciliation. I want reconciliation. And that is all your focus. My dear sister, the primary focus is to get God. The primary focus, the primary things you should seek is God in your life. And when you seek God, you will have that marriage reconciliation that you are calling for. I am serious. So this is why I said this is an underrated reason, because many people focus wholly on their problem, focus only on what they are praying for, rather than focusing on God, rather than leaning on God, the author and finisher of their faith, rather than leaning on God, the source of everything, the creator of everything, the same God that has the husband, that has the marriage, that same God that has your life, that is the owner of your life. So you have to focus on God Seek God, and He will definitely grant the desire of your heart. So this is what is expected of you if you want your prayers to be heard. You have to seek God wholly, and He will fulfill your needs. Spend time with God. Spend time in prayer. Spend time in Bible studies. Please, when you are fasting, you have to pray more. It's not just about staying hungry. It's not about not eating what you want to eat. You have to be more fervent in prayer. You have to increase spiritually. That is even the main purpose of fasting. You are to increase your spirituality and decrease the flesh. So this is the main purpose. So what I'm saying is that you have to be very, very active in prayer during your fast. You have to also study the Word of God, because it is the two powerful tools that you will use to channel your words to God. And it is also a way of God speaking to you through His Word. As you are studying the Word of God, you will be hearing from God, from His scriptures. And this will help you to solve even the problem that you are seeking to solve. So my dear sister, when you are fasting, you must stay away from anything that would distract you from God. I know why I'm saying this, especially watching of YouTube, especially watching of YouTube, socializing. That time of fasting is not time to visit your friends. Time of fasting is not time of party. It's not time to go for birthday party and all those occasions. No, it is time for you to wholly focus on God.